Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast. It is day of spoiler review, release day, Jurassic World Rebirth. I think maybe one of the biggest movie releases of the year, something we've all been anticipating in various levels of excitement. I mean, I'll be honest, I literally forgot it came out today until today. So that's where I knew it came out.
Didn't.
No, I did. But just like
you.
Superman comes out next
Jurassic
week.
World last night.
We did watch Jurassic
Yeah,
World.
you literally. We talked about this yesterday.
Okay, I'm a liar. I'm a fucking liar.
That's starts out. Yeah.
That's what I get. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name's Craig Goldberg. Joining me, as always, are Abigail Gardner.
Hey, y'all.
And Jacob Walsh.
Hello.
And this is a special midweek review. We wanted to go ahead, dive in, talk about our thoughts. We are going to get into spoiler territory. It might take us a couple minutes to get there, but just be forewarned, if you haven't seen the new Jurassic World movie and you want to stay completely spoiler free, if you want to go in fresh, as Frank Costanza would put it, you might want to come revisit this later. But my theater was packed. Jacob, I know you said the same. I think a lot of people are seeing this movie early. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is Jurassic World Rebirth, the 7th Jurassic Park / World movie. It's so crazy, right?
That is an insane thing to say. The 7th Jurassic Park movie.
Especially because remember how long that wait was and all the rumors between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World. It felt like a lifetime. And now, you know, we get a new Jurassic World movie every couple years.
I mean, it is. It's like, let's take the kids to go see the new dinosaur movie. I mean, that was the vibe today. It was like, we know there's dinosaurs.
We know there's dinosaurs. We need 2 hours of dinosaurs. But before we get into it too much, let's just set the stage. This is kind of the second soft reboot, retooling of the Jurassic franchise. So obviously we had the last trilogy with those 3 movies starting in 2014 with Jurassic World, and a couple years ago we had the third one, which was Dominion. So those are kind of like a standalone trilogy. This is kicking off a new era, or at least that's their intention. This is directed by Gareth Edwards. This is his first time making a Jurassic film. He's got an awesome pretty interesting filmography, but he hasn't directed that many movies, but most notably obviously Rogue One and then 2014 Godzilla, which is for my money a movie that I really, really enjoy. So I was excited going into the pre-production, because Jacob, one thing we talked about with this movie, it seems, at least from our view, like this movie came together like quicker than we kind of thought, right? It kind of said, oh, there's rumors there's a new Jurassic movie, and then, oh, they're filming. Oh, it comes out next summer. I remember that being kind of stressful.
Yeah, I remember that too. And I know for some reason that always worries me when it moves fast, but I don't know why that actually worries me. It makes me think like, oh, they're not there. They should be spending more time on making sure things are right, but that's just my brain not understanding how movies are made sometimes. And then also it's like, just because I just found out about it doesn't mean they haven't been working on this movie for a while. So It did seem pretty fast, but yeah, it's here.
It's here. And so 2022 was the last one. Abigail, just as I kind of go through some of this, this movie was written by David Koepp, by the way, who he's obviously had an incredible career, but he wrote, or at least co-wrote, but basically wrote the original Jurassic Park with tons and tons of other movies, close collaborator of Steven Spielberg. He's now back. I think we should maybe roundtable this at the beginning just to kind of give some sort of thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle rating system.
We say flares.
Yeah, how many flares are we going to give this? Let's just keep it easy. Flares up, flares down, or flares in the middle, and then we'll get into we'll get our opinions go. Oh, by the way, we should tell everybody if you're a fan of YHS, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you hit that like button and those bell notifications so you know anytime we drop more content. The 3 of us have all seen this movie within the last 2 hours, and none of us, even Abigail and myself, we have not shared any opinion leaning one way or the other. So I think that's kind of fun, because I honestly
kind of stressed out.
I think I know. I have
it adds a fun element for the 3 of us, a dynamic of like, well, as soon as I go out there and stake my claim that I either love or hate, you gotta.
I have a prediction.
Through. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna write it down. Okay. So I have a Jake prediction.
You're gonna write your prediction. A prediction on what flares? I thought.
On flares up, flares down, or flares in the middle. So I'll go last. All right, Abigail, I'm going to start with you.
Yes. All right.
When it comes to Jurassic World Rebirth, are you flares up, flares down, or flares in the middle?
I would say one flare up.
Stop. There's no one flare up. You
can do one up and one in the middle.
That's the middle. This is a 1, 2, 3 rating.
Huh? There's 2 flares.
There's no
in the
2.
Middle.
It's
like a medium flare, not like a large flare.
So your flare's in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I've got one down, one up, like in the middle.
Okay. So maybe leaning towards up, but in the middle. Okay, Jacob.
Yeah.
I don't like this rating system either. Because my flares are 3/4 of the way up.
Okay.
They're not quite here, but they're not the middle. They're like middle and up.
I just want everybody to look. Jacob, I voted up. Abby, I voted middle.
Middle. Wow.
I know you very well. I'm going to say flare up. Not way up, but there was enough in this movie, especially I'm trying to go into this not comparing it to everything else. What?
just say if you like the movie or not.
I liked it.
The movie?
I liked Jurassic World Rebirth. I've been
We liked it too.
We also liked it.
I've been extremely critical of Dominion and Fallen Kingdom. Those are not movies that I enjoyed at all. Yeah. Abby, we'll talk about this real quick. Last night, you and I revisited Jurassic World for the first time in a while. That's a movie I traditionally have enjoyed, but what did you think on that revisit last night?
Well, as a sequencing engineer expert with my official badge, I will now speak to
Jake. Don't worry, I got you one.
Okay,
you can have Craig's. And I hate wearing lanyards, so I'm going to take this off.
We're at the theater. Abby goes, I want to buy one for Jacob. I was like, I'll give him my sequencing engineer lanyard.
Yeah. I like that. I like getting a little something. Okay, so we gave our flare ratings and we're talking about our Jurassic World viewing from last night, which
just in general, I think it's a fair comparison because that was the first time they kind of like soft rebooted, new cast and all that.
Yeah, I would say so too. That was the first time that we saw the park was back open. And I think that's kind of, I would say the first like 20 minutes of that movie, it does sort of transport you to like oh my God, the park is already open. And that is kind of a cool thing that they do, that you're just kind of like into it. I think the movie struggles. I think it struggles from having way too many human beings in it. I think that the characters, their motivation, their character development, I don't think that I can get behind. I don't think I could when I first saw the movie get behind Claire. I was not a fan of hers. And I thought Owen was
much more time on this, but there was a funny thing where since Jurassic World has come out, Abby and I have become aunts and uncles. And Abby last night was like, hey, she's a bad aunt.
Like,
she's being a bad aunt to these kids.
I was like, hey, I bought my nephew's hats from Universal Japan and I brought them to him. And I plan on taking them to theme parks. And if I did that, I would not just leave them with an assistant.
Exactly.
That whole plot point bothered me. The fact that she's like an uptight woman who's working in the business field, who's like, I just won't reward myself with anything good, and isn't really motivated by money. And it just, God, just what a.
Right.
And I also love Bryce Dallas Howard, so it's extremely conflicting.
Yeah.
Me.
Well, Jacob,
that's a little bit of the point of her character, though.
Well, sure. You're supposed to hate her.
Yeah.
But nobody's like.
I mean, those movies suck. Those movies do suck.
Those movies suck.
This is coming from someone who.
That plot point is a point of the film. Like, that's part of the plot of the film, is that she's not good at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, but also like, what up?
I was just saying, we know how much we love a character change, like as they go through the process. But
when she fucking ties up. Let's talk about the new movie. Let's get off.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about those. Those movies are done.
They're done. It's over.
They're done.
Okay. Rebirth, new cast led by Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey, and Rupert Friend or Friend. I knew he looked familiar. I knew he was the Inquisitor on.
I didn't know that.
Obi-Wan.
I didn't realize that.
Jacob, let's dig in here. So let's round table general thoughts on Rebirth.
Okay.
Because I know there's some stuff I want to get into. So yeah.
Okay. I mean, so is this movie a masterpiece? No, it is not. I do have some issues with it, but I also think you can't expect to ever see a movie like Jurassic Park ever again. Like, we are never going to get a movie as well made, as well written, as beautiful, as scary as Jurassic Park. It's not going to happen. Steven Spielberg can't even do it. He can't even make another Jurassic. He's tried. It can't. It's impossible. Like, we're never going to get something that looks as good as that movie. The last 3 movies in this series are really bad. Like, they just are. This movie to me feels like Jurassic Park 3, which I have come to really love. Like, I didn't love it when I was a kid, but I really like Jurassic Park 3 now. And this movie kind of feels like that. It has a really simple plot. It doesn't really bog down too much. I do have I have some issues we'll get into later, but overall, I had a lot of fun watching this movie, and I thought most of it looks really good. And there were like maybe 2 times where I did feel like I was hearing something or seeing something that was really close to the original Jurassic Park.
Right. Abby?
Yeah, I think that the number one thing that kept coming back in my mind while watching it was, this is going to be a rewatchable movie. Like, this is a fun movie. And I think, like you said, like Jurassic Park 3, it has that. I think it has some really well-grounded characters as well. And I think that it achieves the like original Jurassic Park recipe taste or flavor or whatever, like multiple times, like you're saying, Jacob, where because of the score and because of what you're seeing on screen and how much you are caring for the characters and also are terrified of the dinosaurs and sort of in awe of them, there were a lot of those culminating moments throughout the movie, which would point my flare towards upwards.
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
Particularly because the 2 dudes sitting next to Craig, every time Scarlett Johansson was on the screen, went like, oh, duh.
They did. I joined them a couple times. We
Craig was like, yeah.
I was like, yeah. We were high-fiving. I was like, Black Widow. Abby. I like Scarlett Johansson. She's one of my favorite actresses. How'd you feel her character? By the way, what is her character's name? Starts with a Z. Zora Bennett.
They just call her Z.
Just call her Z. We'll just refer to her Z. She's the new lead. Do you think this is an upgrade from the Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard world?
Yeah, absolutely. Main reason being that she is a mercenary who has this strength of core and like muscle to like do the job and also to carry the movie as like the action hero, which I think is incredible. And I think the fact that she did play Black Widow so many times and like she knows how to like capture the audience's attention and like really help you relate to her. And I think that the character that she played, the fact that she had some trauma and that she'd lost somebody and that other people on the mission had also lost someone, made me like grounded them as characters and made me care about her a lot more. I liked her like general like kind of outlook towards life and like kind of like the, you know, being motivated by money because it's like, well, at the end of the day, life is hard and like we should be able to fucking retire. I thought that was believable and I thought I could get behind that more so than Claire in the first one.
Yeah, and I thought those scenes where she's talking about like losing someone and Mahershala Ali is like referred like kind of alludes to losing a child. those scenes they almost like ground the movie to a halt. Like I was like, okay, what are we doing here? There's a lot of just dialogue.
There was one in particular. I never minded them, but there's one in particular when they're on the boat that goes like kind of long. It's like really sad.
Yeah.
And I found myself being like, oh, this is really good. But also I found myself being like, is this in the wrong movie?
Well, here's the thing. Those are two incredible actors. Like Scarlett Johansson is a Golden Globe, Oscar nominated, whatever, Mahershala Ali. Like these are, I think that's part of it, right?
Yeah, like, it's all. Go ahead. Sorry.
When you're watching Chris Pratt doing like a bad Patrick Swayze impersonation, or Sam Neill and Laura Dern kind of phoning it in, it's not very fun.
Yeah.
In the last one, not the original, obviously.
I'm getting so weirdly triggered.
I know. Me too. I'm like, I fucking hate Claire.
I'm like, Craig, watch it. I'm like, Craig, watch your mouth.
I'm gonna step away.
Don't you speak its name. Honestly, continue.
As far as I feel like in the trailer, I was a little worried when watching the trailers because they really focus on a lot of one-liners. And I tried not to let that get in my head too much because that's what happens in trailers.
Right.
But the implication I was getting of the dialogue in this movie from the trailers made me think it was really bad. I was like, oh, the writing seems really weird. But every one of those lines is taken out of context and in the movie worked perfectly fine and was actually really good. And as far as the Chris Pratt stuff, I wanted to bring him up when we were talking about Henry Loomis.
Okay.
Because Chris Pratt as Owen is the most annoying character in a Jurassic Park movie. He's a douchebag. He's like full of himself in a way that's not very fun. He's not funny. I just hate everything about Owen. I hate that character. And Henry Loomis is like the complete opposite. And I love him. I loved Loomis.
There was a line.
Henry Loomis so much. Craig, I don't know if it's the line I'm about to
I know the line. I know it's the line.
You know what line it is?
I'll let you say it, but there's a piece of dialogue, and under my breath, I went, did Jake write this? So go ahead and say it.
I kind of was surprised it was even in the movie having like a main character talk about how awful humans are.
Yeah.
There was a whole line. And to me, it felt very much like Jurassic Park.
Yep.
When he's talking about how humans aren't special. We just think we are. And he says, when Earth gets tired of us, it will just shake us off.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just loved everything about it.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, I believe him as a character. Like, I believe everything about him. He like loves dinosaurs. He mentions that he worked under Alan Grant at some point. I don't know. I just thought that I was like, I hope this guy, the only other thing I know that guy from is Wicked.
Right.
Watch Bridgerton.
Okay.
Bridgerton.
Well, I hope he blows up, like, because he's great he was my favorite character in this movie.
Real quick, and I'm gonna go to Abby. That was not the line I was thinking of, actually. He's got a couple. The other one was when he goes, "It's a sin to kill a dinosaur." I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
I mean,
literally everything he says, and like whenever they meet the Titanosaurs and they try to have their Jurassic Park moment where the music's playing.
Yeah.
His character's reaction is what sells that whole scene to me. Like, I believe that he's having an emotional reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's beautiful. And that's what's evocative of the first movie, to have a slow moment where you have a relatable human being that's reacting to seeing a beautiful moment in nature and something awe-inspiring, like those two giant dinosaurs like mating, or at least doing their rituals before mating, and he's like slowed and stops and starts crying. And I think that I love that you love this character, Jacob.
I did too.
I think the world of him, and Bridgerton is a great show with him because he's on it. Honestly, I love his character. But yeah, so watching him have that reaction was extremely, extremely special. And my favorite line from the movie was said by the dad of the family, which I know we haven't talked about.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about them.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. So I can hit that later on.
He plays no. I want you to say, I just want to get his Ruben Delgado is the character's name. Ruben. What was that line?
Well, he was an awesome dad, first of all. And when he
Was he?
I thought he was.
He sailed his kids
cool
through
dad,
the
though.
part of the world that everybody knows is where the dinosaurs are.
Yeah, but
That's a
kinda
cool
fun.
dad thing. That's like getting
That's
ice
kinda
cream
fun.
before dinner.
In a
cool
tiny
enough to,
boat.
like, bring your boyfriend. And like I'll be an understanding person. I thought that was nice of him. But no, he stops I believe his daughter's boyfriend because he's talking bad about himself. And he's like, people in the world are already giving us shit and ready to give you shit. You don't need to give it to yourself.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually like a nice moment in the movie. That's a good message.
I thought it was too, but also fuck that guy. That guy was so annoying.
You didn't like
The kid.
the father or the
kid.
teen?
The father was fine. The kid,
Yeah.
the annoying boyfriend, he did have some he had some funny lines. Like I did laugh at him a couple times, but I also could not stand it. And it's like, they're not going to kill the kid,
Right.
so we're stuck with this kid through the whole movie.
So these movies tend to have way too many characters, and when they introduced the family on the boat, I was like, oh, come on, what are we doing here? Obviously they became an integral part of the story. Here's one thing I would change about this movie. I'm just going to get this out of the way. I don't think that the hybrid Distortus Rex dinosaur, I think you could have this exact same movie with actual dinosaurs, and I know that's supposed to be like terrifying, and it is terrifying, but it's not more terrifying than a T-Rex, and to me, so I would have gotten rid of that part of the storyline. I would have opened the movie with my favorite scene, which was the mosasaur stalking that small sailboat or whatever that was. I thought that would the movie's kind of broken down into these different set pieces. There's the mosasaur, spinosaur stuff, and then there's the T-Rex stuff, and then the so on and so on. The Titanosaur, and then what is the flying one called? Quetzalcoatlus. All the stuff on the water, even though a lot of it was in the trailers, it all worked for me. I was once the first 10 minutes of the movie.
That's in my notes.
Okay, let's hear it, because when they're driving through New York City and they're in a traffic jam because there's a brachiosaur laying across the road, like
it's a Apatosaurus, but it's okay.
Well, the kid in the theater kept saying,
"Did you see there was graffiti on it?"
Oh, that's so sad.
It was graffiti on it.
Abby, we talked about this before, about this whole notion that people are sick of dinosaurs, and that's so lame. But do you think they used it effectively in this movie as part of the story?
Yeah, I mean, they sold it in terms of like dinosaurs are old theme park rides, kind of like they used to bring tourists, and tourists are just tired of them, and now they're aging and it's sad. I think they want you to feel a freshness, like when you do see the dinosaurs for the first time on the new site, because it's like they want to have, I believe, like that feeling of like wow and wonder, and who knows what they could have done this time. And I think that showing you that original dinosaur, that's Patasaur or whatever, that's kind of falling apart. It makes you think that, they're not so threatening nowadays. And, maybe just like today, everybody's just kind of like detached and kind of doesn't care. And
it's sad. I mean, people are stepping over them and like common street person, like there's like, it's just another thing happening around Times Square that's getting on somebody's nerves. Like, this little speech though, that they give to Loomis to convince him, where it's like, oh, well, you've never seen these in their element, which I know it's not connected, but because his name is Loomis, and part of that Halloween reboot was the fake Loomis trying to see Michael Myers in his element for the first time. I did like a weird, I was like, wait, is that what they're doing here? But no, they weren't. But any other thoughts on that, Jake?
Well, you were mentioning the water stuff at first.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I did take I thought everything in the water also looked great. It like the just the landscape in general looked really beautiful and nice, and the water always looked really refreshing, and I wanted to be in it. And the scene where the mosasaur, I've never cared for the mosasaur that much. I think it looks weird. It's like way too big. It's just like, I don't know. It's just never been that scary of a dinosaur. I've never liked the using that dinosaur as a plot device. So I wasn't like super excited about its inclusion, but the scene with the sailboat is, I think, maybe the second scariest part in the movie. Like it looks the best, like when it's coming right at them. Like it, again, this is what I'm going to say. Whenever we talk about Godzilla -1, we say the same thing. Like if you're making a movie with a giant animal or dinosaur or a monster and you're worried, just copy Jaws. Like that's all you have to do. Just like put a Jaws scene in there. The sailboat stuff was awesome. So yeah.
And I thought that's when, like, at least for me, I bonded with the family as characters, was watching how natural and normal they all were. They all seemed to be like extremely believable to me, and not like a flashy Hollywood family, but more of like a grounded, real one. And the idea of getting capsized is terrifying. I think for me, one of my deepest fears is like that getting caught under the boat, like. I think pirates used to, like, you know, make you walk the plank and then you get pulled underneath. Like that shit terrifies me to think of.
Have you scared of pirates?
Yeah,
I'm gonna put that in my notes.
Did a number on me.
Boo box.
Don't take. I will not watch
accuracy of the boo box.
Yeah, I remember. I watched that at a friend's house and I was like, I'm gonna go upstairs. For the rest of this movie.
The youngest daughter, which I know we're going to talk about.
Yeah, first of all, also my favorite character.
She was really cool, and like the fact that sometimes when they put kids in movies, the kids get really annoying really quickly. It's what makes Jurassic Park so amazing. And I don't want to keep bringing up Jurassic World, but as we were watching it last night, Abby and I, we looked at each other with the two boys, and we were like, both of them suck.
They're don't both care annoying. About those kids.
You don't care about them. Like I think about Tim and Lex like once a week. I'm like, I wonder how they're doing. Like they mean something to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The youngest daughter in this movie. Well, first of all, she doesn't talk for half of the movie, so
she doesn't say much.
That gets rid of some of the annoyance.
She's shocked.
She was great. I think she was great. The family, I think you can argue that the family is sort of just there for a reason to have more dinosaur stuff.
More dinosaur attacks, right?
But that's okay. But I don't like that. Doesn't bother me. If I have anything critical to say about the family, it's that the other daughter doesn't really get much to do or say. It's like her boyfriend and her younger sister are kind of the stars of the family. She doesn't really do anything.
The raft thing. She does do the raft.
Oh, right. She wakes up the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Cool.
Well, there's a good bit of tension between her doing that, and she's brave to have gone out on her own to do it.
That's a great scene that we'll get to, but I just think like character-wise, she doesn't say much. She's just kind of there.
She does let everybody know.
Ooh, I would say
the one dude's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I love. Obviously, he is. By the way, I think everybody knows that.
That is true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I like when she tries to when he's not to jump ahead, but he's pointing a gun at her and she tries to rush him anyway. They're like, "Hey, you gotta go."
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's talk about the youngest daughter who befriends a baby. Oh, I just had it. What kind of dinosaur is that?
It's a dinosaur.
Triceratops.
I'm actually not sure what that.
I'll tell you right now. What's the name? What's the dinosaur's name? Matilda? What do they name it? Dolores. All right. So she befriends this little dinosaur, which
we're all Googling it.
Is Dolores sauropod? No. Dolores is a juvenile aqualops.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Which I just thought it was like a little Stegosaurus, Triceratops, something. But it's an aqualops, which means eagle face. Anyways, back to Dolores. Abby, And Jacob, we've long talked about the movie Baby and how taking care of a baby dinosaur is that's just a good time at the movie theater. So Abby, I know you were really into those little scenes.
Well, yeah, I was into her as a character, but her connection with this little house cat like dinosaur that was about the same size as my cat, Gilda, and kind of just as cute, in my opinion. I thought that the bond that she formed with that dinosaur was really sweet because she was going through so much stress being on that island that she was shutting down and she was unable to communicate. But once she started to care for something else, she was able to start to cope and like be a part of the experience. And I kind of get that. I like it. It's almost like when you need like a stuffed animal or something like that, but I know it's a living dinosaur. And I thought that bond was really cool. And I thought that that to me, I was like, this is what I would be doing if I was this child's age. I would be scared to death and then probably wanting something to attach to. So I thought that was really sweet. I didn't think it was too saccharine sweet, like too cheesy. Because at one point the dinosaur does kind of escape for a little bit and then like shows back up.
Miraculously shows back up at the store, which is kind of fun.
But I loved it. I was there for that. I like made a little noise when I saw her.
Yeah. What'd you think of that stuff, Jacob?
I thought I was gonna really love it because I'd seen toys and that like there's been I didn't like it. I didn't love it. It to me it felt like it felt a little too much like how do we sell toys in this movie? It felt a little like
little mini puffs.
I like
toys.
little cute dinosaurs. And yeah, I am looking at the toys, but it did not. I feel like either there wasn't enough time with it, or maybe one of the big things that took me out of it was that it's all CGI. There's zero practical. And maybe if it was practical, it would have felt a little more real. If the whole movie's not going to do any practical, you can at least do something practical
with a little baby,
1 foot dinosaur. It just didn't look great to me. I don't know. To me, it was I don't know. I was kind of bummed out by it because I like the look of it and I like the idea of somebody carrying a fucking dinosaur in a backpack. One of my favorite, like you just said, Baby is one of my favorite movies. But there was something really fake looking about specifically that dinosaur, and I don't know what it was.
I think I know what I liked. I liked the ringtail because that reminds me of Gilda, my cat.
I like when it stood up. On its little back legs.
That's cute.
I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
All right. So kind of going through this, one of the things with David Koepp writing it and obviously the source material being Crichton, this movie does kind of have a Congo feel to it. And I like that in the sense that a lot of Jurassic Park movies are about getting a team together and going on a mission. But like there's something specific about this team, especially when they go to that island and meet up with Mahershala Ali. And you could tell he's kind of a like hustler and the other guy. And I'm like, and they're kind of mercenaries. And I was like, that stuff I really liked. And to me, that stuff is way more interesting than there's a lab with genetically mutate. Like, I don't know why, but like, I literally don't care about that. Also, the D-Rex is not even the most interesting genetically mutated dinosaur in the movie. The Terra Raptors.
The Mutodons.
The Mutodons.
Well, they're in it. Cool. I think they're in it more than the D-Rex is. Yeah, but if we want to talk about the mutants really quick, I know that's like at the end of the movie, but if we want to talk about it, that's my biggest complaint about the movie is not so. It's a sequel, so like them addressing that there's mutants, that does not bother me. Like having a D-Rex in the movie, at this point, they've already introduced that. So it makes complete sense to me that there are mutants that didn't make it to the park. Like that, of course there would be. So that doesn't bother me. But the part that bothers me is that once you get to the point where the Mutodons show up, there's no more real dinosaurs. Like it's just Mutodons and a D-Rex. And kind of like you said earlier, Craig, you could have made the exact same movie. Those could have been any other. It could have been a T-Rex and Velociraptors or whatever. and it would have been exactly the D-Rex and the Mutodons don't really bring anything new, and I kind of feel detached from them because they're made up. So
you're building up to a climax, and the Spinosaurus and the Mosasaurus and the T-Rex are all much more frightening.
It's like I'm okay with them being there a little bit, but I don't want them to be the big bad that they're getting. Like, I would rather have had like a little bit of D-Rex, but then maybe at the end, I don't know.
Abby,
it's like, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Abby, I want to go to you on this, but one thing I think is funny is like they make this point in Jurassic World where they're like, well, the audience wants bigger and scarier. That's why we have the Indominus Rex. And then they talk about that in this movie, like, well, everyone got tired of Rex. And I'm like, okay, but that's not really how people probably feel. Like, nobody's out there going, I don't want to see a T-Rex. Like, everybody wants to see a T-Rex.
Right.
Our 5-year-old nephew wants to see a T-Rex. That's the king always. You're not outdoing T-Rex. Abby, any thoughts on this?
Well, the thing that Michael Crichton did in his book in Jurassic Park, and I think that the movie did with Steven Spielberg, was like it created the possibility of like there being a scientific reality of real dinosaurs coming back. It made those like little strings come together to where you were like, hold on, this could be. And yeah, if this happened, there would be lawyers involved and people trying to make money, ethics conversations going on. But the sheer awe moment of like, they did it, they can fucking do it is, I mean, that's in the storytelling, the crafting of like how the dinosaurs came to be. And I think that the idea of like, well, what if they had two heads, and what if they could camouflage and do all these other different things, that like crosses and like jumps the shark into a space of like, my brain can't even comprehend that. My brain I've never actually seen a dinosaur. The fact that you can show me a movie with a dinosaur and I can be like, that's real, even though I've never seen it. Like that's the movie making magic and the skills of Steven Spielberg. But the like, no, this one can launch flames and fucking do loops and stuff. Like I don't care for it. And or this one's got a weird mashed potato head, etc. Like I would rather be like, that's the goddamn dinosaur that I saw in the books as a kid, and it's exactly like it, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, part of me, when I was watching it, part of me feels like whenever they start talking about the people who are so like we talked about, we had this not an argument, but we talked about this a lot when the first Jurassic World came out about how stupid it is that people would get tired of dinosaurs, right? But as I'm watching this movie and they're saying some of those same kind of things, I'm like looking around the theater and seeing people on their phones and stuff, and I'm like, hey, they're right.
Yeah.
A lot of these idiots would look at a dinosaur and then graffiti the side of it and then make fun of it. And like, I'm like, I think maybe I was like, this feels like it almost feels like they're doing, it's almost like a movie making thing. You know, like we talk about how movies are so weird now and we don't get movies like Jaws or Jurassic Park or they can't figure out Star Wars anymore. Like, it's like, is that what they're trying to tell us? Like, people want big, dumb, stupid Transformer shit and they don't want real dinosaurs. I started like getting in my head and I was like, okay, can I just, if I don't stop, I'm going to not enjoy this movie.
Speaking of that, little side note, we got the trailer for Jaws for the IMAX. Really? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For IMAX. And the
Jaws
dude,
is coming out, huh?
I swear to God, it's like an updated trailer. The guy next to me, to my right, after the Jaws trailer, he was eating popcorn. He goes, "Yo, that looks crazy." I got with it. I went, what?
Like up in the top left.
What?
There was a girl that the moment when Brody's like face and he's got the cigarette, on the boat, and it's like she goes, "Oh shit, just got real." It was kind of funny. I was like a young kid up there.
So
hey, there was a kid in my theater who, so they showed all the trailers. They did all the like flashback cinema stuff, and then the lights go off. And then they showed one more trailer, which was the Odyssey trailer. And when the Odyssey trailer was over, this one little kid, he goes, "Is that it? Is the movie over?" I'm like, what? Kids are idiots.
That's so
like
funny.
the subway scene.
Is that
It's
it?
like thinks the movie. That was the
I
whole
ordered
movie.
a sandwich.
Yeah,
What
I
are you
ordered a
talking
sandwich.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
there was a
let's-
part. Hold on, there was a
Go-
part earlier in the film. It's quick. I think it's when they first go to pick up the pilot. What's his name? I don't know any other character names other than
That's fine.
Loomis. Somebody's watching Valley of Gwangi on a TV, and
I saw that.
I literally stood up because
okay,
it's
I know what you're
it's
talking
one
about.
of my favorite movies of all time,
Love
and
that movie.
You're talking about when they go to get Duncan, right?
yeah, it's when they when they fly out and they go pick him up. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they keep this core cast together for the next movie.
I thought it felt a lot like a one-off. To me, it did not feel like this is a movie you're getting a sequel to. Like it feels like a one-off thing.
Yeah. It's about to make a lot of money.
Yeah,
All of a sudden that one off becomes a 2 off and a 3 off.
I mean, I hope it does. But it didn't feel like they were setting up a sequel.
Right.
The bond, I think, that was formed between Zora, Scarlett Johansson, and Duncan was really like it was something I wanted to see explored more for sure. I was like, damn, these two just get each other. And that's just a cool relationship. They're trauma bonded. They both lost people in their lives. And I know for a fact that our audience, when Duncan, I mean, we're spoiling a bunch of stuff, but when Duncan shows back up with the flare,
when he does
the audience, the whole audience clapped. I was like,
ovation. Standing ovation for Duncan.
Yeah, it's a standing ovation. And I was like, damn, that's actual character building. People cared about that guy. They didn't care about him an hour ago. So I thought I was like, that to me means that maybe the future could be on that guy's shoulders, Scarlett Johansson's, and Jonathan Bailey.
And also the people on his crew that died, you knew they were all going to die because they barely said anything.
Dude, that girl didn't have a name. I know.
But they all, but I did. You can pick out who's going to die most of the time, but I did actually feel like all those people knew each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can tell that, especially the main two characters, you can tell that they like, have a past.
They have a history.
It didn't feel like just a bunch of random actors who never met before.
I like that too. And I like that. So there's always kind of like all of the Jurassic movies have some sort of like nefarious corporate element. And I thought that they handled it well in this movie with Martin, who's the pharmaceutical guy.
I think I was a good bad guy.
He's a good bad guy, but he's part of the team the whole time, And like what I hate, going back to Jurassic World, I completely forgot about the subplot where they're like, we're going to use these velociraptors of the military for wars. And I'm like, what? It's the dumbest thing. By the way, the raptors, they kind of got bitched out in this movie a little bit.
I thought that was kind of a bold move, but I really liked it because I feel like the velociraptors need to sit down. Like they need a timeout. I'm kind of like we have 6 Jurassic Park movies full of velociraptors,
right?
And in 3 of those movies, they're the good guys, and I think like the Jurassic World movies really kind of destroyed the image of the Velociraptor to me. They're terrifying in the original film. Don't laugh at me, Craig. This is serious. They're terrifying.
Like Zoolander's image.
Listen, in Jurassic Park 2, when they go into the long grass, you are terrified because you know what the fuck is about to happen. And the Jurassic World movies, like, first of all, the Velociraptors don't look good in those movies. Like, Blue doesn't look good. Doesn't, I don't know, visually it's dumb. Everything about the Velociraptors in the Jurassic World movies is dumb. So I like that they kind of were like, you know what? Let's have them sit out of just this movie. They can sit out of one movie. But the fact that there's 2 Velociraptors in this movie out of focus, you don't even see them, and then they just fucking get destroyed. I was like, okay, all right.
First of all, I'm pretty excited. We've only seen this movie one time, and like it kind of sounds like we're all getting a little worked up and kind of excited about Jurassic right now. It's kind of
watch it again.
Listen, maybe my expectations were very low because of what we've seen,
right?
But I had a lot of fun with this movie, and we haven't even talked about the best
scene.
Literally, this is all right. I'm gonna say that I might regret saying this later.
Okay, somebody record this. Oh, that's what we do. Okay, keep going.
The scene, the river rapid boat scene, that is the best dinosaur scene we've gotten since the first Jurassic Park.
I mean, okay, let's unpack that a little bit. I was gonna save it to the end, but let's just do it now.
Okay.
The sleeping T-Rex is fucking awesome.
It is beautiful. I will say right off the bat, too much of it is in the trailers.
They put a lot in the trailer.
Too much of this movie in general. There's no surprises in the movie as far as dinosaurs go. It's all in the trailer. And I said that in our trailer review, and somebody in the comments was like, no.
They're wrong.
That was their comment.
Yeah.
Sleeping T-Rex. She's sneaking into the daughter's trying to get to the raft. This whole thing unfolds. Walk me through it. A lot of tension. And you just read the book too.
Yeah. I mean, that river raft, absolutely. I mean, it's pivotal. The way that the character, the older daughter, she goes and retrieves it. And it's like it's a Teresa. So much tension because you know that when she pulls the string out or whatever, it's way too early. It's going to wake up the T-Rex. Watching the T-Rex kind of like amble and like, run around and like kind of wake up and then decide like, oh, I'm going to fucking kill these people.
I like when he rolls over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Yeah. It reminds me of Gizmo. They're very cat-like.
Our cat Gizmo for
Not
the
reference. But yeah, seeing that happen and then like knowing that they're going to get in that raft and they have to paddle and watching the T-Rex chase them where it's like it's already kind of scary being on a river and like trying to paddle and such, but like to be like this huge thing can just like impale the raft that we're on, chew us up, etc. And the fact that you're in motion forward, like it's such a fun, playful, and terrifying scene, like to be caught by the T-Rex and like how he goes and waits for them kind of and like is just playing with them. I think it's awesome.
He is kind of fucking with them. Like he kind of disappears, then reappears, that goes under. I love that.
I like leading up to the scene, they fall down a hill and then they land and they're kind of standing up trying to see where they are. And one of them, I can't remember who, but one of them says like, "What's that smell?"
Oh, right.
And I was like, this is it. Because I knew that meant there was a dead dinosaur around. And that was the scene. So I was like, oh my God, we're about to. I was so excited to see this scene. And I don't know, man. The visuals are so good here. Like,
they're really good.
I think part of me can't help but to imagine what it could have been like if there was a little bit of an animatronic T-Rex here. But I can't sit here and think about things that didn't happen. So I love when the boat blows up, the T-Rex is getting up, but the boat blocks out the view. And then when the boat falls down, it's gone. Yeah. It's not there anymore.
It's great. It's like a magic trick.
Yeah, it's just like all this stuff in the daylight looks really good. All the daylight stuff. I like it better than the last half of the movie where everything's dark because it just looks so good. The T-Rex drinking water and the water looks so nice and clear. And whenever the T-Rex it's like following them and at each step the water's getting deeper. So it's kind of I'm just like, how terrifying is that? And then like seeing the T-Rex under the water, the whole thing, it is such a perfect scene. And it's also unbroken. They don't cut away in the middle of it, which is something they do a lot in big action scenes. They cut. At any moment I thought they were going to cut back to the other people and then like come back to you, and they don't.
It was really good.
It was awesome. It was just really cool to see it. And it made me feel like the ride. It made me think about the book. It made me feel like, oh, cool. This is the first time the T-Rex has been scary since The Lost World. You know what I mean? Like, so,
you know what I really liked?
The whole thing was great.
I'm sure a good portion of this was filmed in sound stages and stuff, but a lot of it was filmed in Thailand. it just you felt like you were actually outside in the jungle with these dinosaurs. And like
The scope,
I mean, listen,
I've
we live in the volume world, you know?
Well, a lot of those are practical places. I've seen people already going to all the filming locations, and there's some like behind the scenes photos of the river scene, like where the rafts are and stuff. So yeah.
I also I was looking at the what if casting. So apparently Jennifer Lawrence was originally offered the role and she turned it down. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's an upgrade for us.
I think Glenn Powell was also asked to play Loomis and he turned it down. So I think I really like the cast. Here's the thing. Oh, I wanted to say this too. As far as the T-Rex scene goes, I know there's different designs of the T-Rex and everything. I really like the colors. I thought he was really cool looking.
I'm glad you brought that up because I meant to say that too. I like the colors a lot. It kind of bums me. There were rumors going around that there were multiple T-Rexes in this movie because all the toys look like this.
Right.
And like this is supposed to be that T-Rex, and that T-Rex has like yellow and orange and like kind of green stripes.
They definitely made some creative decisions late in the game.
Yeah.
But I think the colors are great. My biggest complaint with the dinosaurs is just that I wish there was some practical. There's no practical in there at all. And like most of the effects still look really great, but I thought like the Dilophosaurus didn't look super good to me. Like I know it's only in the movie for 20 seconds.
Little cameo.
But it felt like it didn't get it felt like maybe they only worked on it for 20 seconds. I don't know. It didn't look great.
So
I have just one little nitpick as well from what you were just saying, Jacob, was your favorite scene with T-Rex in the river, which I think is also perfect. Right up to the point, though, where the T-Rex rams his head in between two stones and then pulls back out, and there's like no damage left either on his head or on the rock. I took umbrage with that. I was like, dude, I think that a rock would have broken or something from the impact.
I wish there was. It felt like there should have been a little bit of blood or something. It did look like it did look like he tried to kind of shake it off.
Yeah, he went like this.
But he was just like, oh,
it's like when like one of the cats runs into the door. They're like, oh.
But then the boat popping out and kind of the boat popping up and kind of breaking the tension, and everybody laughed. And I was like, I mean, I like that, but also I'm like, that is the most terrifying thing that's ever happened to you.
I never think one thing in these movies, besides the first movie, I never think nobody's scared enough. They should be more scared.
That kind of goes towards something I was going to wrap up the episode with this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it because you just brought it up. Okay. These movies are, they're PG-13 or whatever. Like they have to show, like the kids have to laugh. You know what I mean? Like there has to be some sort of I think my biggest problem with this movie is like the movie's really fun. But it feels like there's a little bit of a shell around it, like a polished shell that Gareth Edwards maybe it could not break through it for reasons of like, it's the 7th in a series. It's got to be PG-13. There's certain things they can't just make it rated R all of a sudden. But the movie does feel like a little safe. You know what I mean? Like none of the kids ever really like. I mean, I know they're not going to kill a kid in a Jurassic Park movie, but it just feels like there's like a little wall that it needed to break through to hit another level, and they couldn't quite get there.
One fun fact: this movie was filmed on 35 millimeter film. And I think
that's probably part of why it looks great.
That's probably part of why it looks great. I mean, there is aesthetically, and Abby, I wanted to talk to you about the way that the John Williams score is weaved into it. They did it at the right times, and they didn't even like one thing I hate like the Jurassic World movies is where they just like you get like 2 notes and then it does its own thing. Like this was straight up track 7 play. Like it was awesome.
Fanfare. Yeah. Like give us what we want when we want in the right scenario. And they did. And I felt like that it delivered. And and made for those moments of like perfection on screen where like the visuals are matching up with the music and you're like, whoa, I really love Jurassic Park. And I remember all the memories I have of seeing it in the movie theater. So yeah, that was extremely effective. I think that it is always a good move to put like the original, if the original score from a movie to reference it. I'm not going to say anything about Ghostbusters movies, but I want to hear the song. And I know, Jacob, you might disagree, but that's how I feel.
I disagree. Sometimes I think it fit here. I think the Ghostbuster theme being at the beginning of every Ghostbuster movie is too much. It would be out of place. But for here to have the thing, what are you laughing? Why do you keep laughing at me? What do you keep laughing at me for?
Because you're so. Because honestly,
Jurassic Park, this is his.
Because you take this so seriously, and I like it.
It's what we do. I spend 3 days a week fucking podcasting about movies.
Actually, what I was just laughing about is that you just said it's too much to have the Ghostbusters song at the beginning of all the Ghostbusters movies. I think it's a funny take. I've always thought it was a funny take.
I think it is.
What did you think of but they specifically the Titanosaurus scene? They do this at the end too. What I love about this movie is it doesn't do too much of the wink, wink, nod of like, get it. It's dry. Like it does subtleties, like at the end when they're in the convenience store and the whatever that thing's called, the raptor pterodon. What are they called again? Mutadons. Obviously, they're trying to evoke a little bit of the Tim and Lex kitchen scene.
Well, there's like a couple of the exact same shots.
But specifically back to the Titanosaurus scene, I mean, that is a big, beautiful scene in a Jurassic Park movie. And Jake, you spoke to it a little bit earlier, but a lot of it is because Loomis is a pure character and a scientist, and he fucking loves these dinosaurs and he's experiencing them in the wild for the first time. And the music swells, it pans out, and all of a sudden there's 40 of those things. It's just really well done. I loved it.
I loved the score, and not just when it's replaying Jurassic Park stuff. The new score I thought was really good. I thought it was better than the Jurassic World score. It felt like a real score and not just like soundscapes like a lot of movies do nowadays. They did use, they used 2 different Jurassic Park songs just straight up. And I think you're correct. They're used at the right time. And, but then also the new score has some of the Jurassic Park themes in it, and you can like hear it throughout the whole movie. I don't know if you guys saw, but the guy who plays Loomis got to play. Did you see this? He got to sit in. He plays clarinet, and whenever the composer found out he plays clarinet, they wrote him a clarinet solo for his character's theme in the movie, and he got.
Oh, that rules! Jonathan Bailey played it.
Yeah, and there's like there's this really funny video, and the video is like it's like of the orchestra, and he plays his little solo, and then when he's done, he's like looking around at the other
I love him
people, and they're just like, and he talks about that being like a highlight of his career that he got to do that.
It would have been funny if he was like, yeah, I play clarinet. They write him like this really complicated solo. He sits on, he's like, I can't fucking play this. I could do like a B flat scale, maybe.
Hey, I love that you love that actor now, Jacob. He's been like a close favorite of mine, and he's like a real actor, like a theater guy.
Yeah, like I mean, I liked him in Wicked, but like, I don't know. I just thought he was really. There's really
something small and earnest, and like you just connect with him.
Yeah,
I like it.
Here's where I think this movie actually has a little bit of a leg up story wise on Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic Park 3, and I don't know the whole history of why, but Jurassic Park 3, even now when I watch it, it just ends so abruptly.
It's a really weird ending.
It's like. All right, they're here. We're done. And maybe that's just because Lost World had this whole third act where they went to San Diego and all that, and you were expecting that. But this movie has like a logical like build up. Obviously, these Jurassic movies tend to end with the whole team reuniting. This time they're underground, and they have this final, face off with the D-Rex. I don't have a problem with the D-Rex is cool looking, and like, you know, they use lighting really well in this movie. Anytime there's like red flashing, it means the D-Rex is coming. But I do agree that the daytime
Or you see a
stuff,
sign that just says D-Rex. Sorry.
D-Rex,
Arrow.
I know it's coming.
Arrow.
Yeah.
D-Rex crossing.
It's like the Beetlejuice sign that just says here lies Beetlejuice.
Here lies Beetlejuice.
Right.
I did though when they were at the kind of fueling station near the helicopter pad, and the generators power up and the music comes on, and you see those like
that was
the Jurassic.
That was great.
The
Stand By
Jurassic
Me
Park
plays?
Stand By Me's playing, I think is what it was. And then like the vehicle has kind of like the old Jurassic Park aesthetic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just red and gray is greater than blue and silver.
Yes. I
Yes.
agree.
Pete
Hey,
is greater than Ben's.
can that be the title of this episode? Red,
Yes.
red and gray, or
Yes.
yeah. Hey, I thought that was kind of creepy when that music came on. I was like, oh, this feels. At that point in the movie, I was like, oh, this is Gareth Edwards. You know, like that felt like his first movie, Monsters. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but it felt a lot like that movie.
Yeah.
I also liked when the D-Rex eats the that one guy who sucks the whole movie.
Yeah.
He
In the
sucks.
beginning on the boat, that guy who's like Muldoon.
No, that's the Mosasaur.
No, that's
okay, sorry.
Well,
Oh, I know
that
who you're
was
talking
a
about.
Spinosaur.
Right.
That
Okay.
was a Spinosaur.
The
But that
guy,
was a cool
guy
kid.
who's got the briefcase,
Briefcase man.
handcuffed to his hand.
Bird.
So
Martin
the
Krebs.
The
the
guy that I wish
D-Rex-
Tom Cruise played.
Yeah, the D-Rex eats that guy,
Yeah.
and I found that to be one of the like. That's the only time. So like usually when dinosaurs eat people in these movies, the people are like a CGI, like you know, it's
Right.
kind of
Mm-hmm.
there's like a very that D-Rex is holding that guy and slowly bringing it to its mouth, and it's like a close up, and the guy's just like screaming, and I remember being like, "Oh, the whole movie should be this visceral, like
Yeah.
it's very like, oh." But yeah, I like
Yeah.
it.
Well, we've praised this movie a lot, but I have to give my biggest nitpick of this movie.
Okay.
The opening scene. The Snickers bar wrapper going into the vent, releasing
that.
You liked it?
I like the Snickers bar thing.
Well, they
But
it obviously worked because we're talking about Snickers.
Well, I mean, I liked that as a device as to like something, you know, that small can fuck up this whole operation. I liked that aspect of it.
Chaos.
But what I hated is that the entire scene's in the trailer. Like the entire D-Rex scene. It's not like I agree with you. The sailboat with the Mosasaur would have been a better opening because it's
Cool opening, yeah.
actually tense and scary. And I didn't think the D-Rex killing that guy was very tense or scary. And it's just like the main focus of all the trailers.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've kind of hit a lot of the main points. Like we've talked about all the big scenes. I'm sure on repeat viewings we'll have further developing thoughts.
Yeah.
Abby,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think here? Are you any final thoughts? Did you like it more than you were expecting?
I liked it a lot more than I was expecting to like it. I really liked the kids in the movie. I liked the daughter, the youngest. I may as well say the name of the actress. It's Audrina Miranda. I
Okay.
connected with her a lot. And I really liked the scene in the gas station where she has like the yellow raincoat, which is already reminiscent of like Stephen King and Georgie a little bit, but she's in the raincoat and she's inside like behind the glass in the like a whatever that thing's called, like,
The
convenience
freezer.
store. And
Yeah.
the freezer, there you go. And like the dinosaur is coming towards her and she just like puts the jacket up against the window and is like completely like he just sees his reflection. She's good. And I really liked that because I know that the theme of Jurassic Park is how life finds a way. And I always, as a kid, enjoyed watching the kids find a way to survive in that kind of a situation. So I thought that it was really cool to be able to see like, okay, if so that's that kid's smart, good for them, like good for, I don't know. I think it's
Yeah.
cool. I think it's how a
Mhm.
real kid would act. I think it was a smart thing to do. And I like seeing how the people survive as well as the dinosaurs. Because that's what I care about.
One thing that's great, Abby. That was good insight. One criticism we've had of where the franchise went is they kind of turned into these like Fast and the Furious, like people jumping off buildings, just like, This movie has a little bit of that, but not. I think the closest it gets is the nest scene with the how do you say it? Quasimodo?
Lucas.
Yeah, but at least when they jumped off the buildings in this movie, they have ropes attached to them.
Right, exactly. What did you think about that scene where they're like in that temple? I thought that was where the movie was like, let's be a big fun summer action movie and not worry.
I thought it was all pretty cool. Like I like the way that dinosaur looks. I always the design of it is like a little to me. Like I kind of wish it looked a little more like what they looked like, but I don't think it's like super. I'm not going to be like a nitpicker on an accurate dinosaur in a Jurassic Park movie,
right?
But I liked the setting of almost like this weird Aztecian like temple sort of built into the side of the wall and having to do all the stuff with it. I thought it was cool, and I liked when the dinosaur's head came up and the guy was just already halfway down its mouth. I thought that was all cool.
The gullet, I loved that.
Yeah. There was some cool stuff in
I liked the bird stuff quite a bit. You'd think these people would learn not to mess with the nest and not to mess with the eggs, but they just keep going for them. Oh wait, we haven't talked about like the extraction device and how it like launches a little parachute.
Oh, the fun parachute thing!
I love that. I wish I could go buy one.
That was fun.
It's fun because it's a game. Once it's there, you're like, oh, someone's got to catch it.
My only eye roll is sometimes I think they overthink these movies a little bit, where they're in this long-winded discussion at the beginning about how important it would be to cure heart disease in humans. And I'm just like, okay, can we get to some fucking dinosaurs? Oh yeah, that would be great. But can we
dinosaurs
get
are for medicine now.
Dino medicine. I do like that it's setting up a future where the dinosaurs are kind of secluded to the equator on specific islands and not just out and about.
Restricted areas. Yeah, that seems cool.
I don't know. I still feel like, listen, they're probably going to make more of these. And if they're standalone fun adventures, that's great. But
I mean, this movie's going to, like you said, I think this movie's tracking to do really well.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably will. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this movie took a step in the right, like, you know, I know we're all, I think this entire episode we've been more on the positive side than the negative side.
For sure.
I liked it. I had fun with it. But like I said, it's not perfect. It is not the original Jurassic Park, but I think it's a big step in the right direction. I think if they make another one, I think one of my other nitpicks is we need to drop the world title and go back to Jurassic Park. I know they're not at a fucking park anymore. I hate Jurassic World. I hate that as a title.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. I agree. I think it sucks.
I get it. It's a big mantle. It's not really specific. Jurassic as an entity, it should be a unique thing, and thinking about it as the park is original. I agree with you on that. I think that this movie, it kind of like shirked off some of the stuff from Jurassic World that was not great, like the Mercedes-Benz stuff, the like, let's build a bigger, better dinosaur. What'd you cook up in there? We didn't have that shit. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that there were characters that I gravitated towards and that I was like, oh, that's a good person right there. That's a good dad. That's a cool daughter. Oh, look, he's growing as a person. I liked that stuff. And I think that because of those cast members and those characters, there's probably hope for the next one. And I think that it was a veering into the right place, which is more earnest, smaller. I mean, it's not really a small movie, but it's like getting away from like the humanity of like people not paying attention to dinosaurs. And it's like, I've had enough of that. So I do want to go and just experience the visceral beauty and the terror of seeing dinosaurs in the jungle. And we got to see that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really cool. Well, listen, guys, this was fun. I'm glad that we could do this and get this review out quickly. If you guys like this, make sure that you tune in every week for more from Have Some Podcast, including full podcasts, Ghostbusters content, trailer reactions, and what do you got there, Ab?
I got an egg.
What is that?
I know. Let's do this before we sign off.
I literally almost went straight to Target to buy the D-Rex when I got out of the movie.
Dude, there's the setup, the end caps at Walmart are awesome. So, Abby, I think the flocked ones are the chases.
There's flocked ones.
Exclusive flocked dino.
They're flocked.
Got it. Hunt and collect.
They're flocked now.
They're flocked
now. All right, let's
This episode is not brought to you by their friends at Mattel. Well, that's fun.
There's a bag in there.
There's two. Are there two? Wait, this is goo. This is a bag of goo.
Okay.
Slime. Ectoplasm.
Slime.
D-Rex plasm.
Copyright. Goop. All right.
What do we got?
Okay, it's in pieces. It's like
Oh, you gotta put them
okay.
together?
Oh, it's a
Puzzle?
T-Rex. I got the T-Rex.
Say it again.
I got the T-Rex. It's in 3 separate pieces. I'm now attaching the tail to the butt.
You've got a T-Rex?
I mean, yeah, isn't that a T-Rex?
You're just missing it the whole time.
We
What
have a
is it?
T-Rex.
There we go.
Oh, we
I
have
tried
a
to get you
T-Rex.
to say that.
Oh, you fuck! God damn it!
Fuck. All right, everybody.
I'm having
Abby's
some
got a
fun.
T-Rex.
I love doing little things like this. It's the joy and wonder of Jurassic Park, and I can't get this thing to focus. So there we go.
All right.
So
Oh, man.
cool.
What do I
We
have?
love that, and the goo is cool
Greg,
too.
you got a dinosaur over there?
I've got a Bret Hart.
Called
Yeah, Bret
sand
Hart.
slime.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Don't eat this.
Thank you
All
to
right,
our
I'll-
patrons. Let's thank them right now.
Yeah, we love you, patrons. Here comes your names.